Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Brick Clubhouse. I'm Chris, and I'm here with our co-host, Evan. Say hello, Evan.
Hello, Chris. How's it going?
Good. How's your week been going since our last conversation?
Pretty good so far. Yeah, it's Tuesday at the time
Yeah,
of recording, so pretty early in the week still.
it's early in the week. We're trying something new this week while we're doing the podcast. We decided to work on a special project which involves us building Lego
Yeah.
at the same time as recording about Lego. This could be a really bad idea,
We'll see how it works.
or we'll see how distracted we get. I'm pretty excited for this build, so we'll do our best to stay dialed in. But it's hard to find time to build sometimes. I don't know if you ever experienced that.
Outside of the
Where
store, yeah.
where life just
Inside of the
gets in
store,
the way.
obviously, we do quite a lot of building.
But that does bring up, you mentioned the store,
I did.
our primary sponsor, our only sponsor,
Yeah.
the place that makes this all happen. Bricks and Minifigs, San Diego North.
Yeah.
We're so
Thank you to the owner.
Yes, thank you.
Who happens to be
me.
to be you.
So
Incredible of you to
thank
donate to your own podcast.
thank you, me. But we've talked to some of you in the store that have been listening, and super great. Very thankful
Yeah.
for you
Super
taking
fun.
your time to listen to us ramble about Lego.
And thank you to our manager, Jenna, who has been posting on our Instagram, trying to get the word out there. So we appreciate that as well.
Yes, you can always find out what's happening in the store or the podcast following Bricks Minifigs San Diego or Brick Clubhouse, also on all the socials for the show. And one thing would be great if you like what we're doing or have thoughts about what we're doing, go ahead and leave us a rating or a comment wherever you listen to podcasts. That would be great and really help the show. So we have a new segment that we're introducing today, Evan, and that is the segment of follow-up, because we have some follow-up from last week.
We do.
And what we talked about, we covered the Bricklink
Designer
program in depth.
We did.
Series 1 went on sale.
Next morning, right? It was Wednesday morning.
Yeah, the next day after we recorded.
And it was an experience.
It was.
So you were here, and I was at home.
Yeah, we were. I don't know about you. I was still in bed.
It was 8:00. I was also in bed. And so we were both trying to order some sets for the store, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so.
And maybe for ourselves.
8:00 hits, bam, website crashes.
Oh, yeah.
Goes down.
Hard.
Like immediately.
Yeah. Which I don't know if any of you have ever tried to order anything off Lego.com on a big release. It used to crash all the time.
Yeah.
And now they do this, like, where you get into a queue before you can get into the store.
Which is the way to go.
They really need it for this Bricklink program.
So they needed to sell 3,000 of the sets in order to have them be funded and actually make the sets that they sold, right? Which obviously, if it didn't get funded, they would have refunded the people's money. But all of them have sold out so far, except for the Parisian Street and the general store. So anyways, site crashes. Chris and I are sitting there. We're talking back and forth, just like saying, hey, can you get in? No. Can you? No.
Yeah, just texting back.
And just trying to figure it out. But also it was like, well, if the site has crashed, there's probably a good chance that other people haven't gotten in either. So at least I wasn't that nervous about it.
And no, they sold out very quickly last time. But
right. But they were also selling much more of it.
Yeah.
So anyways, it took us about 10, 15 minutes, maybe a little even more than that to get in. I actually got in.
You got in way before I did.
I got in first. I kept going back to the Bricklink homepage and then clicking into the designer program link. And they were all up and they're ready. And so I clicked on each of them individually. And the way it worked is you clicked on it and you hit pre-order. And then it actually took you to lego.com, which was where you actually ordered the sets through. And it put it in your cart. And then I just kept that tab open. And I went back to the other tab, clicked the next one, added it to my cart, and did that for all 5 of them. And then I was able to check out and order them. And we got that order secured. And then, Chris, you had to do a little bit of a different...
Yeah. There were one of the blogs posted on, I forget if it was on Threads or Facebook somewhere, they posted the direct links.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to go to
Through
the
Bricklink.
Bricklink page. You could just go straight to Lego.com.
Oh, that's nice.
And that was much more successful for me.
Yep.
And I was able to get all the sets.
So should
and
we
you
tell
got
them how
all
many
the
we got?
Yes, we each person was allowed to order 2 of each.
So we got 4 of all 5 sets.
Yeah, we each of us ordered 2. That gives us 4. Some may fall into our personal collections, and the rest will go to the store.
I don't want any from this wave, if I'm being honest.
Well,
okay, I take that back. The Mountain Fortress,
I
would love to have.
I think it's going.
Should I pay $320 for it right now? Probably not.
No, but you don't have to. It won't ship till July, so you don't have to pay till then.
That's true. So, anyways, we got those. They are coming in, as Chris said, in July at some point. We will, of course, update you here on the podcast and on our social media platforms, letting you guys know when we have them in stock at the store. And we will also be doing our best to go through the same process to bring series 2 through 4 to you as well.
And as we get closer, we'll talk about those because there are some impressive sets coming up in the future series. In fact,
by the way,
this series definitely not the strongest.
Series 2 or
Series 1.
I think my favorite sets are actually in Series 3.
So
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But to let you all know, the fan voting process for Series 4 of the Bricklink Designer Program has begun. So if you're interested in looking through, there's a ton of sets that are up for
it's really cool one.
Up for selection, and some awesome ones. If you're a fan of really any theme, you're going to find something in there that you love. Especially they have a lot of good forestmen and like castle themed stuff.
Me personally, outdoor themes.
I was just going to say, me personally, my favorites, there was multiple of these outdoor themed sets, similar to like the A-frame cabin or the Winter Village set from this year. My favorite one was it Alpine Refuge. It's called Alpine Refuge. So if any of you want to go and give that one some love, I would love for that to be made into a set. If you're interested in seeing these sets and or voting for these sets to hopefully make them be finalists for the next wave of the Bricklink Designer Program, go ahead and go to bricklink.com, and on the very home page, it'll be sitting there as a banner. If by the time you hear this and you go to check it out and it is not there, then you can go up to the top and click on the button that says Programs, and that'll take you right to it. And then go on to click Series 4, and then they'll be able to scroll through all the sets and give them your votes by pressing one of the little emojis that says what you think of the set.
And just know you do have to have a Bricklink account to place a vote. And every time you go to that page, the order of sets will be different. Yeah. So if you find one you like, vote for it because it may be hard to find the next time you go.
I literally just, as I'm telling you guys to do this, the new one popped up on the front page that I didn't see before, and I love it. It's this polar bear silhouette.
Oh, wow.
It's so cool.
That's really cool.
There's some great fan designs out there. So be sure to check it out, show your support, and who knows, maybe the sets that you like the best will get chosen and become real Lego sets that you can potentially get your hands on in Series 4.
So thanks. And that's it for follow-up.
Yeah. For our next segment, which is what's new in Lego. So we are recording this in the middle of February, and there is a very large wave of Lego sets being released on March 1st, some of which we will have in the store, some of which to Lego. However, Chris and I wanted to briefly share with you all which sets we're personally looking forward to. Want to start this off?
Yeah, and the way we're going to do this is a little different than what others might do. We are going to hold the first ever Lego new release draft
here at the Brick Clubhouse.
Yes, here at the Brick Clubhouse, we love our sports, and we love to draft things. So we're going to draft sets that we would like to put on our team. From this March 1st release.
So because there are 2 of us, we're not going to do a traditional snake draft. We'll just kind of go back and forth. And each of us is going to take turns drafting, if you will, our favorite sets and kind of building our roster. And then at the end of it, we will share our rosters.
Yeah, we will. On our we'll pick back and forth. We have 32 sets available to draft. We won't be picking all 32. I think we'll probably do 5 rounds.
We'll do 5 rounds, see where we're at.
And see how we feel. But so Evan, I think I will let you pick first.
Ooh, I get first overall pick.
You get first overall pick
I am on the clock.
this go around.
Wow. Okay. Well, there are a lot of sets that I'm looking forward to, but is there a number one standout? I think theme wise, I'm most looking forward to Animal Crossing just because those of you who don't know, and that really, really excites me. But I'm also a big Star Wars. So
Decision.
for the first overall pick in the March 1st draft, I think,
It's a tough choice. I mean, this could set the tone for the whole rest of the draft. But
yeah,
you
it's
can
really
pick.
hard. There's so many that are so close together. I'm gonna go outside the box. I'm not gonna go with a licensed theme, just to do something different at the beginning. I'm gonna go with, let's see, where is it? Set 31154. This is the Creator 3-in-1 Forest Red Fox set.
Wow.
I
It's
know.
it's a good looking set.
Now, I'm not necessarily taking this one first because I think it's the best set. We can get into reasons later on when these other sets are called as to why I didn't pick them in this spot. But I just think, I am excited for a lot of other sets and a lot of other themes. But something that is important to know about me as a person is that I am a huge, huge animal. And, that's part of the reason why I'm so excited for the Animal Crossing sets. But also, Creator 3-in-1 has been knocking it out of the park this year.
They've been killing it.
They've been doing so good. And, everyone has their own interests and opinions. But me personally, I think that this is the best one that they've released so far. It's my favorite one.
I definitely could see getting multiples of this one
Yes. So
because
the alternate builds.
the alternate builds. The fox does look so good.
I think I need to get two.
The owl looks great, and the
So
squirrel does too. Like,
yes. And so forest animals are my jam. Like they're my favorite. And owls are some of my all-time favorite animals. And so I want the fox absolutely because the fox just looks beautiful, but I think I need to get another one because I really, really want to build that owl too.
actually, as somebody who calls you a friend, this does not surprise me
Yeah.
in the least
and
that was your first pick.
I think part of the reason is there's some strategy here. I think that some of my other picks are not under much threat of getting snagged by you.
And that's
So I'm playing the board here a little bit.
I feel the same. I probably that was on my short list, and there are some sets that I personally love that I don't think
I'm gonna
you are going to have any
and
interest in.
this is actually really cool because there's so many good sets from so many different themes. This is kind of our first chance on the show to show the listeners that we have different interests.
Oh yeah, very.
We share a lot of similar interests, but I feel like with this wave especially, we'll get into it when some of these sets come off the board later, but some of the Speed Champion sets and the Animal Crossing sets, we have different interests and levels of knowledge in those things. So with that, let's kind of keep going and we can get to those.
So your first pick made a whole lot of sense. I'm looking at the board of what's here, and I might play it a little safer
Okay.
in that I think I'm going to have to go with one of the licensed sets, one of the
I
themes.
saw this one coming.
I have two that I'm going back and forth on.
Can I guess what they are?
Sure.
One of them is R2.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
one of them.
Is the other one also a Star Wars set or is it different?
No, it is. It is a Star Wars set.
The other one is the MIDI scale Millennium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two are what I'm looking at for the first pick. I never got the UCS, if you want to call it that, R2. Like I've never had any of the buildable R2s.
I have that one. So this is part of the reason. This is part of my reasoning for this board, right? Because we didn't specify. Are we drafting just like overall quality of the sets or like our personal
pick?
Okay,
I mean, because
that's what I thought.
Who can say they're all great sets?
Okay, that's what I thought.
Like, but
and so the part of the reason I would have maybe picked the R2 in this top spot that in for reasons that you'll get into if you do pick it, but I have the big UCS one. And I love that. So I have no desire to get the new one.
And we've had it in the store.
It's so good.
It's a good looking set. But as somebody who has limited storage space and display space, it was never one that I wanted to dedicate all that room to.
So are you picking R2?
I am picking R2.
Okay. There
it's off the board. R2 is coming to me. Set 75379 is what I'm picking. And not only do I get an incredible looking R2, which I love that it kind of like people either love or hate the first two buildable R2s because they either love the stud look or they love the smooth look of the newer one.
Right. So they're kind of
And
one or the other.
this one kind of plays both.
It's more
Because
more of a middle ground. So it's half the size of the current one, right?
right, which is great for me because the
Yeah.
space.
Now, something to keep in mind for this one, it is less pieces. With that comes different, somewhat played down play features. So, for instance, on the bigger $240 R2 set, the little hands and the little and the scope, the little periscope on his head, those are things that are just part of the build that you can take out and push little levers to open up and stuff. On this set, there's separate builds that you just place onto the set or take off.
Yeah. And I think I'm okay. I mean, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper.
Right.
It's a lot smaller. But
you're also getting that.
I get the 25th anniversary Darth Malik figure. So.
Right. You get the Malik figure. And, Lego investing, especially with Star Wars nowadays, is much greater than it used to be. So Darth Malik is another character from the Knights of the Old Republic video game, along with Darth Revan and Darth Malgus, which Star Wars fans out there might know. Those Lego minifigures are quite the pretty penny now in the aftermarket. So we'll see if this Darth Malik figure follows in line with those. My gut tells me it probably won't get to be quite as much just because people are going to invest in it now.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more of them around.
Yeah, but the supply in 5 years is going to be higher.
But I love the buildable robots. So to have an R2 that will fit into my bookcase,
yes,
really makes me smile.
Yeah,
so
great pick.
I'm taking R2.
It's a great pick.
You're up. Your second pick.
All right, I am going to pick one of the MIDI scale ships. I did get the Super Star Destroyer. It seems that these MIDI scale ships are kind of replacing the helmet set, which I'm bummed about. As someone who owns every helmet set, I'm a little bummed. But I've kind of over the past couple of years, I've kind of just been like, other than the UCS sets because I can't afford them all, I kind of want to make sure I get like every 18 plus Star Wars set because I love the display sets.
Oh yeah.
So I got the Super Star Destroyer MIDI scale and I loved it, and so I'm on board for all of those. So
which one? I mean, they're all still there.
Yep. So I would pick the Millennium Falcon because it's the Millennium Falcon
classic.
But I have the UCS Millennium Falcon, so I have less of a need for another Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon hole in your life has been filled, is what you're saying.
So I'm gonna go with set number 75376. Sorry, wrong set number. 75377. The Invisible Hand. MIDI scale.
Good choice. And we've never had an invisible hand Lego set.
Hand. There's a play feature on this set, which there isn't in most 18 plus sets.
I don't think I realized it.
Do you remember one of Obi-Wan Kenobi's iconic lines from Episode 3 as they are landing the invisible hand on Coruscant?
I should, but all the Lego people, all the Star Wars people are going to mock.
Coming into the atmosphere, the ship breaks in half.
I do remember that.
And Obi-Wan says, "Not to worry, we're still flying half a ship." Okay? So you can actually take the invisible hand and pull it in half.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
You just pull it in half.
Can you display it in half?
You can't display it in half.
Oh, that's a bummer. Seems like a missed opportunity.
But also, there's a little Easter egg in the hangar bay. There's little studs for Obi-Wan and Anakin's Jedi Starfighters, which is super fun.
Which is often the case with these scale.
The difference is, though, in these ones, it looks like in the instructions they actually mention as you go what they are. Unlike the Super Star Destroyer, where you just build these studs. And if you don't know, you don't know.
And the Death Star.
And the Death Star, right. So, anyways, and I did grow up with the prequels. I do love the prequels. I'm not as much of a huge fan as some people are, but I do love that era. I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. That movie, that opening sequence, the Battle of Coruscant, is just epic. I think Episode 3 has to be one of my favorite Star Wars movies. So to get an invisible hand...
That had to have been one of the first Star Wars movies you would have seen in theaters.
I didn't, actually. I remember it was one of the movies where when my mom was out of town for the weekend, my dad rented it. So I'm the youngest of three boys, and that was the first PG-13 Star Wars movie, I think.
Yeah, what?
And so, anyways, my mom was out of town, and my dad rented it and showed it to us. And that happened a few times. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1 was another one of those.
I was on a business trip when that movie came out, and me and some of my coworkers went at midnight to go see it.
It's a great movie, and the special effects hold up great. And anyways, so the Invisible Hand, I'm adult collector.
All right.
I have my displays, and that's going to look really, really nice on my shelf next to the Superstar Destroyer. And fingers crossed, hopefully, they make a meaty scale Venator to go with this invisible hand
Oh, I
someday.
hope so.
I hope so. All right,
Hopefully, this is just the beginning of the mini
hopefully,
scale.
hopefully. So invisible hand off the board to Evan.
Invisible hand off the board. I'm going to go in a different direction. My second pick. Oh, I think even though I know it's safe and nothing you would probably want to pick,
Yep.
it's a tough decision, but I am going to have to go with set 76919. We're going into the speed champion realm, and we are going with the 2023 McLaren Formula One car because
You're a big F1 fan.
I love F1. McLaren's my team. For all the reasons we said with R2, I don't have the giant McLaren Technic one. Not to mention it's giant and it's also
You already
Technic,
mentioned that.
which is
Did we mention it's giant?
yeah, it is huge. My son did build it, so I have seen it built. It is a beautiful set, but the Speed Champion version is much more up my alley. So I can't wait to get a hold of that on March 1st and support my team. The F1 season, I forget when it starts, but it'll be really close
Wow, such a big fan. You know,
to the beginning of the season. I should know in the first races.
probably.
Sorry, all you F1 fans
All you real fans out
out there.
that actually know.
Yes, but that is where I'm going. I'm taking the McLaren Speed Champion off the board. I'm leaving the poly bag just in case you want the poly bag.
Oh,
Evan,
thank you. How generous.
because you took the forest animals. Actually, there was probably a greater chance I would have taken the fox than you taking the Speed Champion.
Oh, were you thinking about the fox?
I do love that set. I think it's beautiful. I think it would fit nicely in my living room as well. The Speed Champion set. Actually, no, the Speed Champion will live in my office, but I just had to take it. I'm looking forward to having a Lando Norris minifigure. Hopefully they do him justice, unlike what they did to Lewis Hamilton a few years ago when there was an F1.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
You have, yeah. Did you even? No, never mind. We won't embarrass you on the podcast. So
It's okay. We can talk about something else.
So that's my pick is the McLaren Speed Champion.
All right. Yeah, that set definitely was not under threat, but that's okay.
No, but I felt we only have a certain number of picks.
Yeah,
so I
mean,
felt like
you gotta
I
get the
had
ones in
to.
there that you want.
I had to.
No, that makes
represent. Get papaya on the board.
All right. Well, if you're gonna take a set that wasn't under threat, then I guess I will now take a set that is not under threat from you. As mentioned before, I'm a big Animal Crossing fan. When I heard that they were going to make Lego Animal Crossing sets, I was ecstatic, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Out of the 5 sets, plus the polybag, there are 2 that I'm going back and forth on, but I'm going to choose. All right, set 77049. This is Isabel's House Visit. This is one of the Animal Crossing sets. And this set is a villager's house. And this villager is one of the deer villagers. Her name is Fauna. She is a fan favorite. She is also one of my 10 villagers on my island, and I love her. So I'm very excited to get her in minifigure form. And as well, in this set, you also get a minifigure version of Isabel, who is a non-player character. She's an NPC in the Animal Crossing franchise. She's been in most of, if not all of the Animal Crossing games. People love Isabel. I love Isabel. She is the lone Animal Crossing character, other than your villager, that is in Super Smash Brothers. So
that's important.
Fans of Super Smash Brothers might recognize her, even if you don't know Animal Crossing. And this is just a great set. So many fun things about it. These Animal Crossing sets have so many unique printed elements that are things that you find in the game, which makes me very happy as an Animal Crossing fan. This one also comes with a little DIY workbench table with a printed DIY recipe card, which is just, I'm so excited to get my hand on that. And it comes with Fauna's house. The villager houses in this game are super cute. There's also another Villager's House in the Nook's Cranny set, which was the next one that I was thinking about choosing, actually. Or the Marshall set. They're great. I love them all.
So what you're saying is you're excited about Animal
I'm
Crossing.
excited about Animal Crossing. This fauna set is super cute, and it's super fun for me as someone who literally has this house on my island. To get it in Lego form is just great. I think ultimately I picked it over the other two that I could have chosen from Animal Crossing because that combination of two minifigures is my favorite out of the sets. So there it is, my Animal Crossing set. If we're only picking 5, I gotta pick one Animal Crossing set.
Yes, that I'm not surprised by that pick at all. So back to me. Oh,
Yeah, it's now back to me.
so many. It's so many choices here. Do I go back tried and true with something that you might actually take, or
Intrigue.
or hit up something that I think is probably a little safer? But
Probably look ahead to what my next pick is.
let's
I know
see.
what my next pick is.
We're on our third pick. If we can only take 5,
Maybe I should have played this more safe
I
or more aggressive.
are you saying you wish you had
Well, because
stole from me?
you weren't going to take my Animal Crossing set, so
No.
I followed suit on that one.
And you weren't going to take McLaren, but I had to represent
Now I'm wondering what
the boys.
what set you're thinking about.
Well, and this is also one that's not under risk. Actually, I'm gonna change up my next pick. I am going back to the Star Wars.
Okay.
But I am going to pick one I was going to pick that you weren't going to pick. So I am going to go with set 75387, boarding the Tantive 4. Sorry.
Wow.
Boarding the Tantive 4. I love these diorama type sets. Diorama set with minifigures, even better. And
it isn't a diorama set.
Well, it's a display.
It's a hallway set. It's similar to the Dark Trooper attack set, but it is not one of the 18 plus diorama.
No, but it's still a display set.
It's still a display set.
I mean, it does have some play features. I think you can move people back and forth with it. It also does come with one of the 25th anniversary figures, one that's a little more controversial.
One that is a little more suck.
in the ARC Trooper 5s, but this is such an iconic scene.
It's great. Yeah.
Vader coming in. I vividly remember this when I was young, and just that whole entry is so iconic.
It's so
and
good.
I've always loved the Rebel Troopers with their big weird helmets. And so that is where I am going with my third pick.
Yeah,
Boarding the Tantive.
It's a great pick. I thought about that when I looking at the board. Honestly, for me, I do love that set. I will be picking it up at some point, I think. But if I'm being honest, the main reason why I let it go is just because that 5s figure is so disappointing. If it would have been a better version of 5s, someone who is a fan of Clone Wars and does love a good clone minifigure, it's just disappointing to see. So happy to give it to you.
I am reserving judgment till we get it in hand to see.
All right.
I have to admit, all the pictures haven't been great, but we're still a few weeks out yet. So
we are. So we'll see. Okay. So for my fourth pick, I think I'm going to go back to the Star Wars theme. I want to spread the love around, but also I love these mini scale ships. So I am going to pick set number 75376, the Tantive 4 mini scale.
Good one.
There have been a few mini scale Star Wars sets that have released in years past. I have not been fortunate enough to pick one of them up. However, we have one in the store right now. We have the Bail Organa Tantive 4.
We do.
Complete with Bail Organa and all other minifigures.
It's a beautiful set.
It's great. I would love to pick it up. Unfortunately, I don't have the financial ability or the space to display it.
It's a big chunga.
It's a big boy. So this midi scale ship, like I said earlier, I'm an adult collector of Star Wars. I am pretty much sold on any other 18 plus sets. I just feel like they've been nailing that.
They've been doing a good
knocking it out
job
of the park. So I'm not going to draft the Falcon because I already have the UCS one, but I will be getting all of the midi scale ships, and that goes for not just this wave, but in the future, whenever they come out with a mini scale ship, I will be picking it up.
It'll be interesting to see how long this wave goes. We had 2 years of helmets, 3 years of helmets.
We had 3 years of helmets,
and they've dabbled in mini scale. going back to
The Star Destroyer and
the Star Destroyer. We've had
Nebula
the
B
gift with,
frigate. Yeah.
and they had the gift with purchase Death Star 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah, you can call that mini scale.
I feel
guess.
like it's in the family,
Okay, sure.
and
They're calling these new ones the Starship Collection,
they are.
which means that there's other certain vehicles that maybe are not going to be given the mini scale treatment, unfortunately. But who knows? They called it the Helmet Collection, and they still did the Dark Trooper, which is a droid, not a helmet.
True.
So we never know. But Tantive 4, we didn't mention this earlier when talking about the hallway set that you picked, but it's the very first ship you ever see in Star Wars. The very first thing that you see, and it's iconic. It's a great looking ship, and I'm stoked that they're putting it in mini scale.
Yeah, it really it helps set the tone for the movies. It's a good pick. It was definitely on my short list.
Yep.
So good on you sniping the Tantive.
Thank you, sir.
So with my fourth pick, I am going to pick something that I'm pretty sure you have no interest in picking because you are not a Technic fan.
You're going Technic, huh?
I'm going Technic.
You're going Technic. Wow.
I am not a huge Technic fan either.
Yeah.
But
well, I was going to say you're not a huge Technic guy usually, so that's a little surprising.
Yeah, one thing I am though is a space guy.
Yeah.
And Lego has been doing their year of space, lots of space sets coming out this year. And I am going to go with set 42179, the Planet Earth and Moon in Orbit set.
That's a cool set.
Now, if you're not familiar with this set, basically what it is there is a sun in the middle of it, and there's a little crank, and there's an arm that has the Earth with a little moon going around it, and they all move in sync together. You know, I think we all remember these being in science class in 7th and 8th grade, and doing the crank and watching it all spin and seeing, you know, how the moon moves around the Earth and moves around the sun and how the whole system works. And the science nerd in me loves that. The space nerd in me loves it. Is it the prettiest that I've ever seen? No. But
it's a little rough around the edges.
But yeah. The functionality of it, I just can't wait to see how they pull this off and make it all work.
It is cool. It looks like the sun or the Earth simultaneously orbits the sun as the moon orbits the Earth.
It does.
So it is really cool.
Yeah. So you have the multiple things moving. I'm sure it's going to be a difficult build.
It's going to be a complex build.
Yeah, you're going to it's definitely one to pay attention to, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to take Planet Earth and Moon in Orbit off the board with my fourth pick.
And you're correct. That one was not under threat from me, but that's okay because you picked one that you wanted, and that's what we're here for.
Yes.
This next set, my fifth and final pick, might be one that you had on your radar, so maybe I am sniping it from you.
We'll see.
This, for those of you who don't know, I've already shared that I'm a big animal fan, I'm a big Star Wars fan, I'm a Harry Potter fan, I'm just kind of a fanboy. I'm also a huge Disney fan. There was one great Disney set coming out. There's 3 Disney sets coming out March 1st. There's one in particular that I'm very excited for, and that is set number 43249, Stitch. This is the buildable Stitch. Right off the bat,
people have been waiting for this for a long time.
Oh yeah. Right off the bat, I'm very glad that they decided to print the pieces with his eyes. We've seen buildable characters in the past, like Dobby or Chewbacca, right, with kind of creepy haunt your dream eyes. And they decided to print Stitch's eyes, and they look great. They didn't go brick built.
No.
And it looks great.
Which is good because it could have been nightmare fuel.
Could have been nightmare fuel, just like some of the other ones. I know that you think Rocket is a little bit of nightmare fuel.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the buildable rocket that came out in the last wave. Anyways,
Stitch looks great. He's got his little Hawaiian shirt. He's got the flower on his head. He's holding his ice cream cone.
Chris, they went all Hawaiian with him.
And it's great. I love it. And Lilo and Stitch is a great movie. Great movie. Makes me cry every time. Always pulls at the heartstrings. Stitch is a very lovable character. Chris, I don't know if you've seen this, but there are people online that they're excited because they're hoping that they can take the Critter 3-in-1 ukulele from the January 1st wave and have Stitch hold it. I'm not sure if the scale is quite accurate, but hopefully it's close enough because that sounds like a great idea.
It does. It looks like Stitch might need a little modifying to make his arms hold it from the photos I'm looking at.
Yeah,
But
we'll see.
but yeah,
This is a great set.
solid pick. We're going to be seeing more of these buildable characters from Disney
Oh, I'm sure.
and Lego.
I'm
I think
sure.
later in the year we're supposed to get a Simba.
Yep.
And I thought I
Heard a Donald Duck rumor.
yeah, I think there's even like another Stitch in the works, like a different version of Stitch.
Interesting.
Maybe it was from something else.
I think Simba had the 2 versions.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah. But this is all speculation and rumors. We don't know for sure.
And I have to confess, I have never seen Lilo and Stitch.
You haven't?
I have not.
Wow.
I don't have the affection that some people do for Stitch. We will get in a little bit. We're going to be talking about what's new in the store. One of the things that's new is the first round of the first series of Disney figures.
Yeah. We got
Spoiler alert, Stitch sold out already.
Stitch sold out. We got in a sealed box of Disney Series 1 just this past Friday. We are recording this now on Tuesday. Stitch sold out middle of the day Saturday. We had 4 of him.
Wild.
We had 4 of him and he's already gone. But if you're like me and you're a Disney fan and you've wanted to get your hands on these Disney Series 1 figures, they are pretty hard to come by. At least a few of them, like Alice, Aladdin, Stitch, Maleficent. Those are the hardest ones. We got them all, other than Stitch. And Maleficent sold out too, actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
To get your hopes up.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, though.
Yeah.
We're still in draft mode.
Yes.
So Stitch is your 5th and final pick then?
He is. I needed to get him on the board. He would have gone higher, probably, but I didn't think that you were going to get him.
No.
So
he was not in danger.
No.
And I think my 5th pick was also not in danger. And I keep going back to the same well, I feel like. And when we talk about picks we didn't get to make, there's even going to be more to discuss. But I am sticking with my Papaya Boys. We are going again to the McLaren.
Papaya Boys?
Yeah, their McLaren's main color is orange and it's papaya.
So they're known as the Papaya Boys.
Well, they're not called the Papaya Boys, but papaya is the color that they claim as their main color. But we're going back in time. We're going back to the 80s, the 90s with set number 10330. This is a Lego Icon set.
Okay.
So it's going to be bigger than Speed Champions. Definitely more of a display piece. And this is the Senna McLaren, who arguably one of the greatest F1 drivers ever.
Okay.
And
I don't know much about F1, so I'll take the word for it.
So he was racer for McLaren in the late 80s, early 90s. Actually died in a tragic accident.
That's a bummer.
And so this set is a tribute to him. It's got a great minifigure version of him that has his own stand that can go along with the car that's also on a stand. And it's the iconic red and white McLaren from that era.
Cool.
Minus all of the cigarette advertising.
Yeah.
That they stripped off.
Makes a lot of sense. So you're getting 3 McLaren cars in one wave?
There are 3. One we haven't discussed the polybag yet, but
3 McLaren.
Yeah,
wow.
3 McLaren.
So they're your favorite F1 team. Are they like the most popular F1 team, or
no?
Or they just
they're not the most popular, and they're not the best.
They were just kind of due for some sets.
Lego and McLaren must have tight relationship.
They're cooking up something.
We have some other F1 sets. There's a Mercedes F1 car in this wave that we haven't talked about, and they're very popular.
Okay. So it isn't just
it isn't just McLaren.
Okay.
But they're definitely getting the lion's share of the love this wave. A lot of people would love a Red Bull car. In the past, Lego and Ferrari have done a lot together. We haven't seen a lot of that in recent years. So I'm not complaining that McLaren's getting a lot of love here. So I am taking, Senna's McLaren with my 5th and final pick.
I mean,
of this draft.
You took multiple cars, but there's a Speed Champions and an Icon. So like they're different. They're still
Yeah,
different.
multiple cars, multiple Star Wars,
I mean, I took multiple Star Wars too.
and
Right?
then my random Technic set. So I feel like this is definitely my team. Like
Mm-hmm.
I went for Chris's favorites, and I'm happy with my picks. And truthfully, like if I only was allowed to buy 5 sets from this wave, those
Be your 5?
probably be my 5.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's definitely some ones I wish could have made the cut.
I think for me, man, I wouldn't be able to narrow it down to just that 5 for this March because of the brand new theme, the Animal Crossing theme.
So okay, so what else
Yeah.
did you not get a chance to pick?
Yeah.
Bring out your dead here.
I'll highlight
Give me
highlight a
give me a
couple.
few that we didn't discuss.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, I'm gonna get all the MIDI scales. So the Falcon, I would have got for sure. I'm going to buy the entire wave of Animal Crossing sets. So there's a couple more that would be up on that short list as well. But I think, just to give it some love, the a set that I probably won't buy, but 42170, the Kawasaki Ninja Technic set. My dad has a Kawasaki Ninja. I've ridden it many times on the back with him. I've ridden it by myself. I don't know if he knows about me, but I have my motorcycle license.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so ridden that many times. It's super fun. Just a fun sport bike. And so when this set got revealed and I saw the pictures, I sent it to my dad. He thought it was really cool. So, like I said, probably won't be getting this one, but I think I just wanted to give it some love. The next
And they
one,
do a great job with their motorcycles. We've had a few
they
in the
do.
store.
That BMW was really cool.
Yeah, the
And the
BMW,
Harley Davidson Fat Boy
Harley, yeah,
isn't a Technic set. It's an Icon set, or Creator Expert, I guess
Yeah.
is what it was at the time. But they do a good job with those for sure. Similarly to with the cars, those Creator
yeah.
cars are awesome too. I think another one, I am a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm not the biggest fan of this wave in terms of sets that appeal to me. I think the sets are great. There's nothing wrong with them, just nothing that I'm really super interested in. Other than, let's see, where is it? Gosh, I'm looking right at it. Did the owl reset move?
Line 31.
Oh my gosh. You can edit that.
Well, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the Harry Potter set doesn't really speak to me other than set number 76430, the Hogwarts Owlry. As I mentioned earlier with my first pick, I love owls, I love animals. There's a bunch of owl molds in this set. I don't have any of the modular castle sets. I do have the large micro scale Hogwarts castle, so that was kind of my fill of the castle sets. But I love this Owlry set. It is snow capped. It's based off of that scene from Order of the Phoenix where Cho and Harry meet up and Argus catches them. So those are the 3 figures in that set. And it's snow capped, and so it'll look great with. I have the Shrieking Shack and the Hogsmeade sets, so it would look great with those. And it's pretty tall. It's like 3 or 4 stories high.
Yeah.
It's a great set.
I mean,
And the box art is beautiful.
yeah, I didn't do this wave of Harry Potter Castle stuff. I did the last 2 waves of,
Yes.
like, or not waves, but the last 2 versions of the castle.
I think this one is its own.
Does it not fit with the other castle stuff they've been doing? That modular kind of block build?
I'm sure that you could make it fit. I'm sure that it could. And maybe it's supposed to. Maybe I'm wrong. But to me, more than a lot of the other ones, it really looks like it could be its own standalone thing. I feel like. Maybe not.
Nice. I have to say, I also like the boathouse of this wave.
The boathouse is a good.
Sorry to jump ahead to ones that I would have liked.
You're good.
I actually think that boathouse build has some potential for. I'm a Winter Village guy. I think it could be modified and look great.
Even more so than the Owlry. They already has.
I mean, the Owlry has the snow and stuff, but
okay.
One thing my Winter Village has always been lacking is a little chapel. And I think that boathouse could be turned into a little chapel.
Don't you already have a solution for that though?
I do. We'll have to talk on another episode. My first foray into buying a rebrickable instructions for a little chapel for my Winter Village. But that's a topic for another day. Yep. Any other sets?
Yeah.
On your didn't quite make it list.
I think, I'll just kind of go and give a shout out to another theme that I didn't we haven't talked about yet, and that is set number 71819. This is an Ninjago set, actually. I have never purchased a Ninjago set, and I'm not going to purchase this one either, but I think it's a fantastic set. This is the Dragonstone Shrine. It's beautiful. Something that I've heard just kind of around is it seems like the Ninjago team at Lego, they do a really good job making their fans happy. They consistently put out products that people love. I myself don't know anything about Ninjago. I always have to defer to other people when we're in the store. But this set looks great. It has a really big cherry blossom tree build, which I love. And then the main build is this stone dragon fountain that has like a waterfall coming out of it that looks fantastic.
It's beautiful.
It's almost like a circular, it looks like a little sphere almost. It's supposed to rest flat on a surface, but my first thought when I saw it is it looks like a floating sky island from Legend of Zelda Tears of the
Interesting.
Kingdom. I don't think you've played that game,
I have
Chris,
not.
but for anyone listening who's played that game, and if you've seen the set, maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen the set yet, maybe you'll see it when you do see it. But I don't know, it just looks like a little floating sky island and like has a little waterfall and stuff. So that's just what it reminded me of.
When I look at this set, I almost feel like you could take the Ninjago characters out of it,
and it's its own
and it's
display.
just its own thing.
It looks fantastic.
The stone dragon,
Oh yeah,
cherry tree.
If I were to ever get it, that's what I would do probably.
Yeah.
And I think it would look really great next to the bonsai tree or the tranquil garden or anything like that you might have.
Definitely would fit in with that motif.
Yeah, super super cool set. So wanted to give Ninjago a shout out.
That was also on my short list. So thanks for bringing it up.
Really, I didn't expect that. Okay.
Yeah, I just again
Sorry to snipe it from you.
Not
There you go.
Ninjago fan, but it's a great looking set.
It's really cool.
And again, probably nothing I'm going to run out and get. Definitely not on day one. But if I saw it on sale somewhere, I'd be tempted.
There you go.
So a few that didn't make my list. Looking down our board here, much like your Kawasaki shout out, I want to give a shout out to the Speed Champion Ford Mustang Dark Horse. I'm a Mustang guy. My son drives a Mustang. My first car was a Mustang.
Nice.
It was, and I think the navy blue Ford Mustangs are just so
They look
beautiful.
nice. They do.
I mean,
and these Speed Champion sets, they do a good job. I've never gotten a Speed Champion set, but I'm not a big car person.
The thing
but
I like,
they do a great job.
The thing I like about them,
They're affordable.
They're affordable.
You can get a bunch
fun.
of them.
Yeah, and they look great.
They display really well, and you can get a bunch of them and display them all together because they're so small.
Yeah, and they're very different. Like they do a great job of hitting many different types of cars. Yep. This Ford Mustang again, just tugs at my heartstrings. So I wanted to give it a shout out. One other kind of class of set I wanted to shout out. I'm a sucker for a good polybag, and we got 3 polybags coming out March 1st. We've got the Animal Crossing polybag.
Oh, best polybag ever.
Yeah, the little bear.
What is her name, Chris?
Maple.
You put some respect on that.
As you have educated me on. So we've got the Animal Crossing polybag. My McLaren, we got, if one Speed Champion wasn't enough, we've also got a miniature version of their F1 car from last year in polybag form.
Jeez, man.
As well as a Draco Malfoy in the Forbidden Forest. So I have to give a shout out to my polybags, and notice how I got 3 for 1 pick there.
Because you just said polybag.
Because I just said polybag.
Well, I could have just said Animal Crossing.
Yeah, well.
6 for 1.
Yep, well.
Actually, I'm going to change my draft pick. I'm just going to choose the Animal Crossing theme.
You did it. So, and then we've talked about the mini scale of the Falcon was definitely on my list. In fact, almost went number 1.
And then it went undrafted.
So.
How dare you?
But you already discussed those.
I think it sounds like you and I are both pretty much on board for all the mini scales.
I love the mini scales, and I have them all already. All the
including
ones,
the Nebulon,
including the Nebulon. I've always been a fan of this size. Again, for me, it's the perfect display size, and
they're pretty great.
They look awesome. So that is our March 1 draft. And maybe this will become a tradition whenever we have a big wave. Not all waves are big enough.
I hope the May draft is
May.
I hope
Yeah,
the May
May will
release is
probably
cool.
be the next time
We haven't gotten confirmation yet on what that UCS set is, but I'm a big UCS guy, so that might go.
Yeah,
That might be my top pick.
we'll see. I got my first UCS set this year, so maybe I will
And so it begins.
fall down.
And so it begins.
Yeah, fall down that rabbit hole. So that's our draft. All right. So one last segment before we go. We've covered some of this already, but what's new in the store this week? Again, Bricks Minifigs San Diego North allows us to sit here and talk about Lego. And so it's been a fun week in the store. It's kind of been a Disney week, hasn't it?
Has been a Disney week. I'm to blame for that in large part. I'm a big advocate for us getting more Disney stuff in the store. Chris, as you know, for those of you out there, when I first started working at the store, I wasn't a huge minifig guy. I had nothing against minifigures.
No, in fact, you were trading minifigures in.
And I don't regret that because they were just random Star Wars ones that my friend had given me that I didn't really care much about. But when I got there, I said, I'm not a huge minifigure guy. However, the main figures that I want to get are all of the Disney CMF figures because I'm a huge Disney fan. I love those figures and those characters.
And we've had
some here and there.
Series 2 and the Disney 100s a lot.
Yes. Some of the Series 2 figures, not as much as others, but more so than Series 1. And so, every day when I walk into the store, I look over at the case. I'm like, do we get any more? Do we get any more? So finally, you and I went on Bricklink.
You convinced me.
And you wanted it too.
Yeah.
Because they're popular.
A lot of people have been asking. You're not the only one.
Yes. But we ordered a sealed box of Disney Series 1 figures. And some of you might have seen it on our stories that we posted. Jenna, our social media coordinator and our manager, she was very excited as well. So we recorded the whole unboxing. This thing came in the shipping box, sealed with the tape and with the sticker on it that said, do not put on shelves until May 1st, 2016. So this thing has been sealed for nearly 8 years now.
Yeah.
And we got it. And as we mentioned earlier, we already sold all 4 Stitches.
A lot have sold.
We sold all the Maleficents.
In the few days they've been out.
We sold all the Captain Hooks, but we still have a lot of them. We have one more Alice, one more Aladdin. We have a bunch of genies.
And they're just so fun to see.
They're so cool. They came out, I mentioned in the first episode, I started collecting Lego in 2019. So both of the first 2 Disney series were retired when I started the Lego collection. And so to finally get my hands on all of these has just been super fun for me.
And there were even a few that I didn't have in my collection.
Yep.
And that I wanted to get so they could live in my Disney castle.
Yep.
And so Peter, Pan, and Hook came home to the castle.
And then we got in a used up house.
Yes.
Without Carl.
Right. So we kind of went on another minifigure hunt
on Bricklink,
which led us to some other figures.
Yeah.
We did get Carl.
We got Carl.
So the complete up house is there. But we also came across some other great figures that we hadn't had in the store before.
Yeah.
The whole set of villains.
Yeah.
The
villains icon
set,
which is a great set.
Well, who's all included in that one?
Yeah, so we got Evil Queen from Snow White. This is in her, so we got her in the Disney 100 CMF, but this is her in her old hag form, you could call it. So we got her, and they're all 4 exclusive to this set. We got a new exclusive version of Maleficent, which is different from the CMF Series 1 version of her. We also got Jafar in his genie form, which is really cool.
Yeah.
The red genie Jafar. And then we also got Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. So all 4 exclusive figures to the Disney Villain Icon set. We have them, one of each in the store.
Yes.
That's it.
As a set. You could pick them up.
As a set.
But that wasn't the only Disney.
It was not.
It just kept coming this week.
What was the last one?
And then we got the man himself, Walt Disney minifigure.
From the
camera.
Awesome Walt Disney camera set. Unfortunately, this seller did not have the Bambi and Dumbo mold available. But that Walt figure is super cool.
But yeah, so it's kind of been a Disney week in the store. We also got the Tron set.
The Tron Legacy, Lego Ideas.
Which I love.
I didn't know that existed until I saw it here at your house.
Yeah, it's great.
So
it's kind of been.
We mentioned the Tantive with Bail Organa. We had Voltron, but that's come and gone. So don't
Yeah.
have that one still. I think one other thing,
We've seen a big.
we've gotten a couple big trades this week, so it's always worth coming in just to see what we have, even if we don't mention it here. But I think one other thing that's worth mentioning, who knows how long it's going to be there, but we got the Phantom set with Grand Admiral Thrawn and Blind Kanan.
Yeah.
Both figures are in great condition. We have it all together as a set with the old chopper from Rebels.
It'll be interesting if that makes it through the weekend.
We'll see. We also got in some new rose bouquets, but we already sold at least 2 of the 3 today.
Yeah. By the time you hear this, they'll be gone.
Unless we get our next shipment in.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Fingers crossed. It'll be. By the time you hear this, Valentine's Day will be over.
But we are getting more on the 15th, right?
In theory.
In theory.
Always in theory when it comes to shipments from our distributor. So thanks for joining us here in the Brick Clubhouse. It was super fun. Hope you enjoyed it. And let us know on social what would be your number one draft pick of the March sets.
Or give us all 5 if you want to.
Or give us all 5. I'm sure you disagreed with some of our picks and you loved some of our picks, and we would love to hear what your picks were. So thanks so much and keep building. Say goodbye, Evan.
Goodbye, Evan.